Jealousy and envy are similar negative emotions that can make us unhappy and destroy our relationships. The definition of jealousy is a feeling of unhappiness and anger because someone has something or someone that you want. This emotion is often accompanied by obsession, insecurity, and a sense of betrayal. Jealousy can be incredibly destructive when it gets out of control. Envy is also a grudge against others because of their possessions or success. The definition is to wish that you had something that another person has. In this video, we will discover why envy and jealousy can be destructive to us and how we can better let go of these emotions with the help of Buddhist psychology. Envy can be associated with a lack of confidence or a feeling of inferiority. Of course, envious people also crave the things that others have that they do not. Envy is closely related to greed and desire. And of course, both envy and jealousy are connected to anger. They are difficult emotions to experience and even more difficult to admit. Envy and jealousy never feel good, but rather consume us internally, and it is extremely difficult to let go of them. Both emotions have many faces: resentment, insecurity, anger, greed, hostility, rivalry, or fear of exclusion. Buddha said, "Do not overrate what you have received, nor envy others. He who envies others does not obtain peace of mind." Buddhism teaches that before we can let go of negative emotions, we must thoroughly understand where those emotions come from. Buddhist psychology explains to engage with the experience of jealousy and envy and not try to cover them up. This is the key to transforming them. Jealousy and envy arise from the belief that we are not good enough as we are. These emotions can increase when one feels insecure or judges or criticizes oneself. This can then become more and more of a vicious cycle, comparing ourselves to others, then getting angry that they are better than us or have more, possess more than we do. Envy or jealousy is considered one of the 5 poisons in Buddhism, along with anger or hatred, greed, pride, and ignorance. They are considered poisonous because they cause pain and suffering both to us and to others. The basic idea of Buddhism is that suffering is all around us and that the cause of suffering is that we cling to a self. Envy and jealousy in particular are rooted in the belief in an autonomous and permanent self, but the Buddha taught that this permanent, separate self is an illusion and that all things are interdependent. When we relate to the world through the illusion of a self, we become protective and greedy. We divide the world into me and others. We become jealous when we think others are taking something that belongs to us. We become envious when we believe that others have more happiness and success than we do. Jealousy, envy, and the other poisons arise from this attachment. How can we better deal with jealousy and envy from a Buddhist perspective? By working mindfully with the tools from Buddhist psychology, we can get better at letting go of jealousy and envy over time. First, we need to notice that we are envious or jealous in the first place. When these emotions come up, one should mindfully observe what sensations are being perceived. This allows one to stay with the direct physical and emotional experience and not get caught up in the storylines that sustain jealousy and envy. A certain space is created. Here, we then have the opportunity to see and look at things more clearly so that we can get a better overall picture by better looking at and identifying our triggers of the emotion and the habits that go along with it. As a result, we can better release the negative energy and relax. So, there are 3 steps we can exercise when jealousy or envy arises. First, mindful observation. Here, we take a deep breath and directly feel the emotion and observe our physical sensory impressions. Second, clear seeing. Here, we look at the big picture, including triggers and habits. And third, letting go. Here, we let go of the negative energy and relax with our senses. Needless to say, it is not easy and requires some practice and mindfulness. After experiencing the pain of jealousy or envy directly and mindfully, over time it naturally leads into compassion and the antidote of jealousy or envy, that of compassionate joy. In Sanskrit, this is called mudita. Mudita is part of the so-called 4 immeasurables, which would be first, loving kindness, metta, second, compassion, karuna, third, joy, mudita, and fourth, equanimity, upekkha. Mudita or joy means taking pleasure in the success or happiness of others. The cultivation of joy frees us from the suffering of our painful feelings. Moreover, taking pleasure in the happiness of others actually creates happiness and contentment within us. Especially if you are currently a very envious or jealous person, it will take some time before you feel real compassion for others. However, one can actively practice the cultivation of compassion, for example, with mudita meditation. Compassion, like other practices of the heart, requires mindfulness and awareness. Buddhist teacher Jack Cornfield states, mudita is the joy and happiness experienced for oneself and others. This joy is born into everyone, but it is not limited to the innocence afforded in childhood. It is alive in all of us, and mindfulness is the gateway. Meditation allows us to be present for ourselves, each other, and for the wonder and beauty of our mysterious incarnation. To begin a mudita meditation, I recommend doing the same preparation as you would for a mindfulness meditation. Sit in a way that feels kind and gentle. You can spend a few minutes focusing on the body or the breath. After that, we can begin the mudita practice by remembering someone in our lives who falls under the category of a good friend. This can be a loved one, a family member, a friend, or perhaps a spiritual teacher. The point is to find someone you value very much and by nature and have a good relationship with. When this person comes to mind, we try to imagine them being happy. Perhaps we can remember that this person has recently experienced joy in some way. If not, we try to imagine this person smiling contentedly. With the intention of caring for this person's happiness, we begin to say a few phrases to him or her in fellow joy, such as, "May you be happy. May your joy and happiness continue to grow. May your well-being be limitless." The phrases become the object of our meditation. This means that when our mind digresses, we always return to reciting the phrases. We can continue this meditation for about 5 to 10 minutes. When we have practiced this meditation here for a few days or weeks, we can then include a neutral person, a difficult person, and ourselves. We should remember that the exercise does not have to be emotional to make progress. Sometimes the exercises in working with the heart can be dry. As long as we work to cultivate this open heart, we are well on our way to dissolving jealousy and envy with the antidote of compassionate joy. It is a powerful way to free ourselves from the suffering of ego attachment. Thich Nhat Hanh says, "Everything we do for ourselves, we do for others. And everything we do for others, we do for ourselves." Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, share the video with someone who can benefit from this content. Thank you and stay inspired.